All right, welcome to episode 14 of the MO-Wiff 3 Up, 3 Down podcast. I am your host, Cam Smith. I have a special guest with me today as Adam is out. Stepping in his place is the commissioner of MO-Wiff, Josh Rogers. Josh, fresh off your surgery, how are you?
A little robotic for the foreseeable future, actually. But other than that, doing good, man.
That
How
is
you doing?
good to hear. Hopefully, you got a speedy recovery ahead of you, and you can get back out there on the field with us next year. But I know you'll be rooting on the Empire for the rest of the way, as right now you guys do hold a playoff spot, which we're going to talk about in our first segment. We're going to go over our playoff race, and then our second topic, we will talk about some individual stats, like who's kind of leading the league and average and so on and so forth. And then we'll go into some team stats and might even compare a little bit or just talk about the difference between last year and this year with the team stats, because it's been quite the change. Josh, are you ready?
Let's go.
All right, let's get into it. First up, we have the playoff race. All right, Josh, let's start with your division first.
Yeah.
You are in the UCC STL division. I'll let you start because it is your division, and I'll let you take first reins on what do you want to say about this playoff race.
Yeah, so it's really a race for last place at this point. Thunderbirds, they've clinched a playoff spot, and I don't think we've announced it yet.
We haven't announced it yet, but
let's just say here they have clinched the 1 seed. Is that correct?
Yep, it is correct.
So
they are one. So they have one game left. They need 1 point or an Archer's loss to clinch the number 1 seed throughout the entire playoffs.
For home field advantage for the whole time.
Yes.
Yeah. So they have that under control. Melonheads are sitting in second place with 12 points. We are behind them with 7, and then Pilots have just 1 win under their belts against us, the Empire, with just 2 points under their belt. So really, it's a race between us and the Pilots to see who's going to get that last spot in the playoffs. The Melonheads could kind of fall off. They have 7 games left,
and 7 very tough games.
Yeah, I think you and I were talking about it last week at the field. They play you. They play Archer.
They play. I know one of the other teams in my division. I'm not sure which.
They have a tough road ahead of them, so they could lose out or they could just split for the most part. But I see them holding on to that second spot as we only have 3 games left. Pilots, they just need their pitching to come forward and stay consistent. We saw touches of it last week with Adam. Adam definitely looked a ton better. I was really excited for him because I know he just wants to figure it out and just be one of the top guys, especially for his own team. So I'm trying to look up their schedule real quick.
Yeah, Adam looked really well, and I talked to him during that last start after that first inning he had, and I said, Adam, there was 1 pitch that you threw where I was just like, that's it right there. Just throw that pitch the rest of the night, find that pitch, and once you get that rolling and you're comfortable in throwing that first strike, then you can work off of it. But I'm like, don't even try anything else. Just go right after it with that 1 pitch. If they hit it, they hit it. But it beats walking guys. But he did. He looked significantly better. Which is always good to see. The absence of Brett has really hurt them so far this season. So you got to think if they get Brett back, they can really make a push for you guys in that playoff spot. It's going to be close. I'm
looking at their schedule now.
Yeah, I know they got 2 against us.
2 against the Archers.
Yeah.
Then they have the Melonheads, which, that's a great divisional matchup. And then they end their season with 1 game against me. So that's a game
that game could come down to that last playoff spot.
Yeah, for sure. So that's kind of where the UCC division stands. Thunderbirds have control of pretty much the league right now. But I just see it between fighting for last place between us and the Pilots to see who gets that last spot with the CCSTL division.
Yeah, it's been an exciting race, knowing that it could come down to that. I mean, even like I said, even the Melonhead schedule is tough too. So there is a potential that you guys could pass them. Like you said, it's going to be tough, but
I don't even know my schedule. I'm looking at it now.
they've hit the ball really well, so you gotta expect that to continue.
We have 3 games left. 2 are against the Archers, and then that last game against the Pilots. So it's going to come down to that last game for us, at least, to at least hold on to that 3rd spot.
Yeah, Jason's gotta love that. I'm sure he'll be talking a lot lately. Hopefully, my team can take 2 from him this week. We'll see. We need 2 wins. We're in the bottom of our division, so we'll switch on over.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about the Feathershark Division. It is very, very close, up and down. The Archers are sitting in a good position. They're sitting at the top, but I know, this week, Jordan is gonna miss this week.
Oh,
and
I did not know that.
Yeah, so I know we tried to get the time switched, and it just didn't work out because other teams had conflicts, so we couldn't switch the games. He was only going to be able to make 1 game if we would have switched. It's like he would have been able to make the 6, but not the 7. So either way, he was missing some time. Let's see. They play you guys this week.
Yeah.
So you get the Archers without Jordan and Rory, who's he's not throwing at 100%. So
right.
You guys could easily squeak out a win or 2 there. It's possible. Roy still pitched really well despite being a little bit banged up.
Right. But after Rory, I mean, they have Brian Hunter that can, throw his knuckleball here and there, but that could be interesting for us.
That could be an interesting knuckleball matchup with him and Jimmy.
That could. Definitely could.
But yeah, so they are they're sitting at the top right now. They do control this division. It's up to them what they do with it. The Mojo are right behind them. And then the Mambas like right on their tail. And then, they've all played more games than the Bombers at this point. And we're right there too. If we were all like tied, and now the Bombers playing less games, and with the Mojo winning their last 2 games and the Mambas winning their last 2 games, it's really putting pressure on us. Like, now we have to go out here and win our next 2 games to stay in that playoff race, because this division is going to be very tough, because there's going to be a really good team that doesn't make the playoffs.
I feel awful for that team too, because they're going to have, and we've all talked about, they're going to have more points than whoever's in 3rd place in our division, which could be us, could be Pilots, whatever. They're going to have more points than us, and possibly even more points than 2nd place, Melonheads.
Yeah, and I sent you a text about that the other day. Me and Cole had talked about it, and it's very possible that every team in our division does have more points than the Melonheads, only for one reason. It's going to be very tough for that to happen, but because the Melonheads have a lot of games against our division, and every team in our division needs the wins.
Yeah.
Like, we can't afford to drop 1 game.
Yeah.
So you might see instances where an ace is throwing both games against the Melonheads to try to get wins.
Right.
But you never know. They're a good hitting team, and Jason's looked really good on the mound. If they can get Spencer there, which I know he'll be there this week, he's a big asset for them on the mound. So they're going to really kind of control who does and doesn't make it out of our division, because they can play spoiler, which I'm sure they would love.
Yeah, they would absolutely love that. You know that.
Yeah, but I know, me and Cole have talked about it a million times, and I'm sure like everybody knows it, but because even me and Adam have talked about it on here, this division is going to come down to the last week.
Which is what I want.
Yeah,
I want it to be exciting. So
I think it'll be very exciting. It's going to be it's playoff games. Playoffs already started for us.
Yeah.
and everybody has to just keep winning, and
Come down to one game.
It's going to be exciting. And right now, the Archers are at the top, so they're definitely feeling the most confident, most comfortable, especially with Jordan.
Right.
But also the Mambas had a big, they got an extra point for one of their losses in the first week of the season, and that could really come back to bite all of us because they have that point. And even though we might all have the same record or close to it, they have that one extra point that could put them ahead of us come the end of the season.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the Mambas schedule right now. They got Melonheads the 25th, so in 2 weeks. But then they have you guys twice, or no, they have Mojo twice. So that's gonna be a tough matchup for them.
That series is gonna be huge. If one team sweeps that, it could be deadly for the other team.
Yeah. And then oh God, I love it. The last week you versus your brother. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Awesome.
The Mojo schedule is very tough. I know they got, like you said, they had 2 against the Mambas. Man, I don't remember who the rest of their schedule is, but
I'm getting there.
I know the Mojo had the toughest schedule remaining in our division.
Oh, yeah. They face you guys.
Yeah, they have a series against us, the Mambas,
and then they round out with the Archers.
Yeah, which if the Archers have it locked up, maybe Jordan doesn't pitch that last week, so it could be good for them. But it could be a close race for the 1 seed, and Jordan might have to pitch to get the 1 seed, or maybe Jordan just wants to stay fresh and get some innings in, and
maybe him and Rory split it just to see what happens.
Yeah, and Rory can do just as good a job, and yeah, it's gonna be a wild ride to the finish, and I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be on the sidelines for the whole thing, so it'll be fun to watch.
It is, and I'm sure everybody else watching will enjoy it too. It's gonna get heated. Especially in those last couple of weeks, a lot of divisional games coming up.
For sure.
All right, Josh, anything else on the playoff race?
No, man, I think we touched it all. Feathershark, you guys are all at 12 games except for you guys. You're at 10.
Yeah.
But,
we'll be at 12 after this week, and the Archers will be more. But
the way our schedule is, we have half the league has a bye every week. But I love the race on your guys' side, and Thunderbirds are just, they're the Thunderbirds. They're just holding on tight to that top spot. So it'll be fun.
And they just get to sit back and watch for the next 4 weeks, because there's only 5 weeks left to play. Yeah. And, everyone will play on that 5th week. So the Thunderbirds have 4 weeks off.
And 2 or 3 of those were bye weeks for them. They got rained out. They got pushed back. So
yeah, correct.
This would not have been their ending, but it's going to be their ending.
Yeah, and that could hurt them, but I don't really see it playing as a factor.
That one game will be a warm up for playoffs for them.
Yeah, and and which is what we wanted. We wanted to make sure that what happened to the Melonheads last year didn't happen this year, and where a team didn't have 5 bye weeks in a row coming into the playoffs, which would have happened if these rainouts.
Right.
So
that would have been bad.
So good news for them. But like we saw Tony they had a couple weeks off, and then he played last week, and right away, his first inning, he threw like 9 pitches in the first inning, all strikes. It was insane.
That was awesome.
So, all right, Josh, next up, we have our individual stats and leaders. All right, Josh, let's start with our hitters. Let's just start by, is there anyone who statistically wise or not, or just eye test, has anyone really surprised or stood out to you since you're our commissioner?
So I'm not big on the stats like you and Sam and some of the other guys are. Like I don't sit there and
I look at it every Friday morning, baby.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Like I never have been, but as I'm looking at it, seeing Ryan Brown at the top at everything, he had a huge week against the Mojo when both Sam and Josh were out.
Yep.
So like obviously his stats are a little skewed from that, but he's at the top of 4 of the big categories: batting average, slugging, on base, and OPS. So
he's top 3 in hits.
Right. So I mean, that was a big surprise to me. after facing, did we face the Thunderbirds last week? See, that's how great my memory is. That's probably why I don't look at stats. No, we didn't face Thunderbirds. But after watching John Willenbrank put on a show last week, I was excited to see his name at the top of a few lists on here. And, I actually clicked on his name for all of his stats. And he is killing it in his first year in MO-Wiff. He had a huge week that was against us last week. I'm not with it. But hit for the cycle last week. So yeah, those two.
He leads the league in hits.
Right.
And he has 20. He has 29, and the next guy is Ryan Brown with 23.
Yeah, leads the league in hits, triples, RBIs. Half of his RBIs came from us last week, so that kind of.
But hey, he's taking advantage, and guys have to do that. We saw the Melonheads do that many times this year so far.
Yeah. So Jason's also at the top of a bunch of different lists too. He's in like top 5, top 3 in a lot of different.
Second in average, third in on base, first in home runs, 6th in hits, 2nd in RBIs. Yeah, he's up there.
First in home runs. He's got the most home runs in the league right now.
Only one with double digits.
Yeah.
We had 3 guys with double digits last year, and he's already there.
Right. So yeah, those few guys kind of stood out to me. Just at the quick eye test, even though I don't look at the stats like you do every week. So
yeah, I like to look at stats too, mainly because we all vote on who our all-stars are going to be, and I kind of I get bored sometimes at work or like before work when my daughter wakes up early and
don't let PCI hear about that.
And it's all right. It's only like on my lunch breaks, and I already watch my videos and podcasts or whatever. So when I get some time, I look at it. But I like to make sure I want to be ready for my all-star picks, and it's just fun for me to look at and just to see who's doing well. And I've been keeping an eye on everybody. And I talked to Cole last week. I'm like, dude, the all-star picks are going to be very hard this year. The awards are going to be very hard to pick this year. How many times have we talked about rookie of the year? And it's like every week, it's like there's another rookie that's in the conversation.
Changed last week.
Yeah. There's 5, 6, 7 guys, rookies that could easily win rookie of the year.
Right.
And it's insane. But like you said, John Willenbrank is up there after last week. But yeah, they're just quite a few guys. One guy that's really stood out to me, we haven't seen him in a while, but he's up at the top of every category, is Ryan O'Rear.
Yeah.
So that's just off my head.
Something I did look at when I was looking at John's stats. He has an 11-game hitting streak.
Ooh, that is a good stat. So maybe I'll do some homework for our next episode. And
I think that is the longest that we have seen, even though I don't really keep track of it. But somebody else, I think Sam was close. There were a couple other guys that were close because I just went through the guys that had the most hits. But yeah, he has an 11-game hitting streak going on right now.
Wow. You said you're not a stat guy. That's not even a stat I ever.
I clicked one guy and saw this.
But that's not something I ever would have noticed. That'd be. I want to check that out on. Maybe we'll put that on the record. Is there still a record page?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we need to put that on there. Longest hitting streak. I like that.
Make note of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
11 games right now, still going. So we'll see what John can do the rest of the way.
And they've played how many? They're 17. So they've played 16 games.
Yes. So he could end on a 12-game hitting streak for the regular season. So
yeah, that's very impressive. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna go, down a couple of these lists, just kind of the main categories here real quick. We've kind of hit on them, but batting average, Ryan Brown, holy cow, 564, the only one hitting over 500. it's almost impossible. I'll try to knock that down a little bit this week, though.
That'd be nice. Get him back on everybody's playing level.
Yeah, exactly. And then Jason is behind him with 478, Ryan O'Rear with 442, and then John Willenbrank at 439, and then everyone else is under 400. But still, quite a few guys in 300s compared to last year when there was like hardly anybody.
3 rookies in there. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, 3 of the top 4 are rookies. That's
not the top 3 pick rookies. Like these are all guys that came later. So
wow, very true. Yeah, and none of them were in that compensation round.
Right.
Good point.
Pretty crazy.
On base percentage, Ryan Brown 614. That's insane. Ryan O'Rear 554, Jason 547, and Sam 524. So
and
4 guys over 500.
Ryan Brown only has 5 walks.
That's impressive.
5 walks with that big of an on base percentages.
Yeah, that is impressive. But one of the stats that I like the most, especially when you look at it's when you look at like how many games they played and you kind of average it out. But I love looking at the hits category. John Willenbrank's played the most games out of, I guess, besides Tony and Andrew, but more than the rest of the teams. But John has 29 hits. Ryan O'Rear has 23. Ryan Brown has 22. The top 4 guys are all rookies with the most hits. We're doing something wrong.
The veterans should have a few more than them, but
the one that I'm surprised about the most, though, Cole is only at 19. He's in 7th. Taking a step back, Cole is 8th in average, 8th in on base, and 10th in home runs.
I just made my lists longer. I didn't realize I could do that.
Oh yeah, up to 15.
Yeah, that's what I just did.
Yeah, I got mine on 10, and I printed it out because I'm a nerd. Made it easier for me. But yeah, wow. That's just a surprising stat for me. And then like we said, Jason, the only one with over 10 home runs. I think there's going to be a few people that hit over 10 though.
I agree.
Ryan O'Rear has 8. Jordan has 7. John has 7, but John only has 1 game left. Sam led our league in home runs last year, and he only has 6. Missing 2 games versus the Melonheads.
He scored, didn't he?
Yeah, 4 games. Yeah, so that definitely hurt him in like the home run race, defending that title. But still has 6. I still think he'll get 10.
Let me shout out one guy here with 6 home runs. The guy
I know. I already know who you're talking about because I was going to bring him up on the next category.
Oh well, I'm going to bring him up right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
The guy that wasn't even drafted, we had to call and get him to sign, and Doug was amazing and made this happen. But Greg Thornton with 6 bombs, tied with Ryan Brown, Spencer Bogad, Sam Skibby, like just crushing the ball right now. So I'm so glad Greg got in the league and stayed with us. And
absolutely,
look what he's done for the Mojo. So
yeah, absolutely, and that goes into my next category was RBIs, and he's been near the top the whole entire year. He's 4th in RBI, tied for 3rd with Tony Cochran. Both have 20 RBIs on a guy that wasn't drafted. And we all were in a fluster when that happened,
trying to figure something out.
There was things that happened in the draft that no one else saw, that all of us were like, we didn't see this happening, and we were trying to make something work. That deal that Doug had made to get Greg was talked about and discussed before the end of that draft even happened, before his pick, because we knew he wanted his son, and it was going to come down to a tough decision between a couple of guys on, hey, do we take our good friends, or like how can we make this work to where we can keep everybody in here? And Doug was like the first one to say, he's like, let me pick my son, and then he can take my spot. We'll call him right away, and we'll get him in here. So a good job by Doug for sure. But yeah, John Willenbrank leads in RBIs at 28, Jason with 24, and those two guys at 20. That's just insane.
Yeah, Greg is, to go back to Greg is 7 for his last 20.
Oh yeah, I mean he's been on fire. He's been hitting the crap out of the ball, and it's been fun to watch too. He brings a lot of energy and excitement too, which is perfect for that Mojo team.
Absolutely.
Real quick, we'll go on before we hit pitching. Is me and you were talking about this. I think like right before we started recording, but our putouts. You know, I lead with 20. You are in second with Jason at 19. And that hurts a little bit now that you're not going to get any more fielding time.
Let's see. I played 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 games.
10 games, 19 putouts. That's pretty good. Pretty good. But Cole's right there at 18 too, and then a couple other guys are right behind us. But our defense has been. There's been a lot of really good defensive plays this year. I think Jason's done a good job highlighting some of those plays in the highlight videos.
Yeah.
And there's been some bloopers as well. My team's had a few, and I know there's been quite a few coming around, but there's just been a lot of really good plays. We've seen quite a few guys rob home runs too, which has been very exciting.
Yes. Ryan Hicks had an amazing play last week. He came out of like third base to center field and flew through the sky. That was a great play.
Yeah, that award's going to be tough to pick too with the Gold Hands Award. So
yeah.
All right, Josh, let's go into pitching real quick. Anybody stick out to you in particular, kind of like we did with the hitting?
Not really. You know, like the hitting, there are a few guys, especially rookies, that were at the top that surprised me. Looking at wins, I mean, Tony's leading the league. Tony Cochran with the Thunderbirds was
7-0 on the mound as a rookie.
Pretty good.
Yeah, no one else even close. Jordan's close with 6. He has 6 wins, but does have a loss. Ryan O'Rear has 5 wins, and then Andrew and Sam have 4, and then a couple of us with 3.
Yeah, I mean, he's got him and Ryan O'Rear. Tony and Ryan O'Rear have the most innings pitched at 33. What do you, off the top of your head, do you know our
55 innings limit?
So nobody's gonna get close to that.
With that will get fixed next year. That was planning on us playing more innings, and we didn't really know. That's a good thing. You know, with year number 1, we had flaws, and we kind of fixed them, and then with change comes more flaws, and we see it, and I think next year, I think it'll be a lot more cleaner on all of the XX rules like that one.
Yeah, I think we'll have to stop re-looking at everything. I mean, I'm sure there'll be stuff here and there, but not as much as the first 2 years. You got to get through the chinks in the lane or in the ring, and get through it all. So, but yeah, those 2 guys at the top. I mean, rookies again. I guess that's the thing. There's a lot of rookies at the top of everything again. So
yeah. It's been led by Tony, especially being 7-0 on the mound, and
strikeouts.
That's a big. He leads in strikeouts as well.
Well, look at him and Andrew. So the ace 1 and ace 1A, B, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Tony was 77. Andrew was 76. That's why the Thunderbirds are sitting where they're at 13-3.
And you look at it too. Tony's got a 1.7 earned run average, and Andrew's got a 3.03. So it's like neither of them are letting up runs. And then not even on my list is John Willenbrank, who the past 2 series that they have played has said, hey, I can pitch too. And he's throwing upper 80s and just dealing. And it's been phenomenal for them.
Yeah. I mean, for them to have their spot secured, and with Andrew missing last week, for John to get that time on the mound. You know, he's probably not going to get a ton the rest of the way. You know, with playoffs coming up and Tony and Andrew being on the mound. So it was great to see him and to shine a little bit on the mound for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, I think next year he might get some more time on the mound, and it's only going to be good news for whether it's the Thunderbirds or it's someone else. Depending, I think it depends on how much he wants to throw, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 3-headed monster with those three, and maybe there's a closer role, which we've never seen before. So
that would be very interesting.
I would love to see it. I want to see a closer. Like, I want somebody to be a closer. I wish I could do it, but I like.
Maybe that's what I limit myself to next year. It's just an end. No,
there you go.
I gotta come back for the Empire on the map.
We
need some help.
Hey, you guys, like I said, if you were healthy and you pitched this year, it's a whole different team, a whole different dynamic for the Empire. And you lost a lot of close games early on, and with you pitching, I think you probably win a lot of those games too. So, and then it allows Sam to pitch in your second game, and then it allows Jimmy to not have to be fully relied on in a full game, because we've seen instances where he throws 2 to 3 shutout innings, and then all of a sudden it falls apart. If you have 3 pitchers like that, so it's definitely good news if that could happen. But
for sure,
we talked about wins. The ERA though, Jordan Smith has just been phenomenal this year. Like I said, he's 6-1 on the mound, but his ERA is 0.43.
2 earned runs. 2
earned runs. Should have had 3, but one got caught up in the freaking wind. I'm still mad about that. That was the best ball I hit on it, but just hit a little too high. But Sam Skibby, 1.68. Tony, a 1.70. And I'm right there behind them with a 2.15. Maybe I'll try to knock that down the rest of the way, but I don't think anyone is going to catch Jordan, especially with him missing this week. And he's just been lights out on the mound this year. It's been crazy to watch. He's played less games. Oh, I guess technically him and Tony have pitched in the same amount of games. They both pitched in 7 games.
Yeah. I mean, Tony got 33 innings. Jordan's got 32. So yeah.
So
one.
So one less inning for Jordan, and they had the same number of strikeouts, both at 77 at the top of that board. And like you said, Andrew Nichols at 76, and then Ryan O'Rear is 75, and then I'm at 63. So I'm gaining on them, and
you have 2 less games than them too. So
exactly. I mean, my strikeout numbers speak for themselves. I think I'm 1 away career, so including playoffs, from 300, and I think I'm like 11 away from like 250 in the regular season.
You have a career of 299 strikeouts.
Yep, I knew that. Yeah, that's with including playoffs. If you look at the regular season,
181.
I think it's 11.
63. You're at 244.
244. So yeah, even closer. Look at that. I only need 244. So I only need 6 more to get to 250. I think that happened this week.
That's impressive, sir.
Hey, thank you. Trying to take over Sam Skibby because he had the most strikeouts last year.
Oh, he's at career 293.
So I'm a little bit higher. Look at that.
Who plays earlier next week? You guys both. I said, who plays earlier next week? Who's going to get it first?
I have the 6 o'clock game. Let's go. That'll be cool. A cool little record for myself there.
Yeah.
I think I've earned it.
Yeah, you can have one of them, I guess.
Yeah. But another great stat that I like looking at is the opponent's batting average. Guys are only hitting .058 against Jordan.
So they're not really hitting.
No one's hitting. And then second place actually really surprises. It doesn't surprise me because he's pitched so well this year. He's had a couple like late game. He's like lost in like late in the game, like last walk off home run. Yeah. But a 151 average against Ryan O'Rear.
That's 18 little hits.
Yeah. That's, I mean, he's one guy where you look at the stats and yeah, he's towards the top. I mean, he has 5 wins and I think he has 2 losses like in like the last inning of a game. But he's up there in strikeouts. He's top 4 in strikeouts, top 5 in ERA. He's a guy that like you look at and you're like, oh, he's towards the top, but he's so close to being at the top of every category. Like couple different pitches, and he could be right at the top. But I'm right behind him with like just 1 point hot, like 1 point higher, 152, and then Tony Cochran 167. So a lot of guys that are pitching very well this year. But even the guys that aren't at the top of those lists, like really have just surprised me. And I think a lot of guys, I think pitching is in good hands for MO-Wiff, in the future.
For sure. Yeah. And like, I know it's kind of going off topic and we kind of mentioned it, but rookie of the year is going to be very hard to pick.
Yeah.
But whoever wins rookie of the year could very well be the MVP of this season too.
Yeah, absolutely could.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I think that's going to be surprising to see who gets MVP votes and rookie of the year votes. And, if is there a rookie that wins like a pitching or hitting award, but doesn't win rookie of the year? I think that could happen as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to be very wild to see.
5 weeks. I'm excited.
Yeah, these last 5 weeks definitely going to be very, very exciting. All right, Josh. Last topic. Let's switch it up. Let's go to our team stats. And can you?
I'm looking at it. What's up?
How about you? You look up last year, so 2021.
Okay.
And I need to filter all teams here because I lost my browser before we started.
Just never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we're gonna start with hitting categories. This is fun. Me and Adam talked about this on a couple one of our first couple episodes, and I think we didn't really have a big sample size. It was just early on that we wanted to talk about it, but I think even now that we're towards the end of the season, it's going to be, I feel like, a lot different compared when you look at this year compared to last year. So we'll start with our team batting average. And dang, I had one that had a league average, but I lost it. It was on a different page. The Melonheads lead in team average 399. So almost hitting 400 as a team. What was the highest team average last year?
Pretty much double that, 215, or less than double that, 215, the Mambas.
215 last year. And there's only there's 3 teams this year that are under 215, and one of them is at 214. So 2 more teams.
We did something right, Cam. We did something right.
We definitely did. I mean, this is just, it's fun to see. Like I said, the Melonheads 399, Thunderbirds 306, the Mambas, you said they were at what last year?
215.
215. They're at 283 this year. The Archers are at 261. The Mojo's 229. Your team, the Empire, 214. The Pilots at 191, and my team, the Bombers, 184, baby.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big part on me and my struggles that have brought our average way, way down.
That's crazy. I did not see you guys being at the bottom.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, that's probably the surprise of the batting average is, I believe we're 5-5 right now.
Mhm.
And yeah, 5-5, and we're hitting 184. We've
Yeah.
had
You guys
2
are 5 and
walk-off.
5, and you've only scored 22 runs.
Hey, we have 2 walk-off home runs, and those are big.
We've scored 4. I mean, we played 4 more games than you, but we scored 45 runs. We've almost scored double the amount of runs.
We've faced a lot of tough pitching though
You
too,
have,
and
but geez, that's
and
crazy.
we've seen a lot of guys, a lot of teams face, some different pitching than they're used to. Like we've said this before. Doug did a fantastic job filling in with Sam and Josh gone, but the Melonheads were just able to hit them. But I would much rather watch that game all day than teams get walked all day. It was more fun. You saw guys hit the ball, and it made these averages go up. So that's good news too.
Yeah.
On base percentage, what was the highest last year?
369 with the Mambas.
369. So a little bit lower. I mean, I was going to say overall, but I guess this is still pretty good because that was the highest. Highest this year is 473. Fourth, that is the Melonheads again. The Thunderbirds 415. The Mambas at 392. Everybody else in the 300s besides the Bombers, we are at 285. What was the lowest last year?
274, which was Empire was pretty much at the bottom of every hitting category last year.
What was the bottom of the batting average?
Empire at 103. Yikes.
So yeah. So still a big difference from this year to last year. So it definitely does show that we are doing something right.
Yes.
What do you think? Any other hitting categories? I mean, I think the
where are we at on home runs?
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's go with home runs because hits, it's all going to be different because obviously there's more adding the lob pitch and everything, but let's look at home runs because that was one I was very interested to start the year. I thought there would be a lot of home runs, and this will kind of be a good test to see. So
the top last year was Mambas, of course, with 28.
Wow. The Melonheads right now have 27.
And this is with 20. We played 20 games last year in the regular season.
Correct. Yeah, and we
we're
still
not even
have
at
5 weeks left.
Right. We're not even we're only playing 17 this year, so 3 less games, and nobody's reached the maximum number of games. So that's that's awesome.
Yeah. What is the lowest last year?
Empire had 8.
8, and the Pilots right now have 7.
That's awesome.
So
That's sweet.
very exciting to see. But like Mambas 20, Mojo 19, Thunderbirds 19, Archers 17, Empire 11, Bombers 10. So home run numbers way up, which that's the one we want to see. And Jason's done a good job with those highlight videos showing all the home runs and all the awesome replays of the home runs as well.
Right.
Let's go to pitching because hitting stats, I mean, it's all going to be very similar
these are all going to be way different.
Yeah, this is exciting because last year was so dominant in pitching, and this year there's been dominant pitching, but there's also been a lot more hitting. So Josh, let's go. I want to ask, who do you think is the earned run average leader this year? Which team do you think has the best ERA?
I'm gonna go you guys.
No. We're fourth.
Oh.
But
it's gotta be Archers.
The Archers at 246. So 2.46. What was the highest last year? Or I guess the lowest.
Best, yeah. Empire, me and Jordan at 2.06.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's still very close.
Yeah.
And the key there to both of those, well, I mean, you were a big key last year, but
Yeah.
Jordan
Jordan's in
is
both of them.
in both of those, top of both of those. Very impressive for Jordan. Thunderbirds right behind him at 2.72. And then Mambas at 3.10. What was the highest ERA last year? Team ERA.
Pilots. Why are the pilots on here? Or no, that's right.
Because they were the dingers.
Yeah, pilots. 6.14.
6.14. The pilots this year, a big key to Brett not being there, but 9.58. But they are not at the bottom of this list.
They're not at the bottom of the ERA and they only have one win.
Yeah. You want to take a guess at who has the highest?
Empire.
Yeah, 10.63.
No.
If you're watching on YouTube, Josh is putting his head down. But it's really different. You see a 2, a 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. Like every team, it's like one number down.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of guys missing time too.
Missing time, and then if you struggle finding the zone, you got to throw a lob pitch or put guys on. Like that's just obviously going to add up to your ERA. So
yeah, let's look at walks because this is a category we changed the rule this year. So there's been a lot less walks. What was the highest number of walks last year?
You mean lowest?
I was going highest first, but it don't matter. Either one.
Top of the list is what you're saying.
Sure. I was going at the bottom. I started at the bottom this time.
This was the only pitching category that the Bombers led, and that was base walks at 77.
77. And that was the lowest.
That was the lowest number of walks last year.
This year, the Empire, the highest, 59. The lowest is the Archers. They've only allowed 21 walks. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. And like now that I'm thinking about some of these pitching records, especially the team pitching records from last year, I could see being on the record books
forever.
We
almost need like an
asterisk.
A different era.
Right. Yeah, once we get all these rules kind of finalized and just ironed out, like that's when we should set the new era of record book. Just test 2 different ones or whatever.
Yep, I like that. That's a great idea.
Hitting's going to be greatly skewed.
Yes.
With the lob pitch now installed, and then obviously just the different pitch with obviously the lob pitch for pitching. That's going to mess everything up too. So.
Yep. All right, let's do 2 more categories and then we'll wrap up here. Let's start with home runs. Josh, who do you think has led up the least amount of home runs as a team?
Archers
are in third. Which is very surprising.
That is surprising. But I think
there's
Rory's
led up a few. I guess
you guys.
Has Rory really given up 11?
That seems like a lot.
Because only him and Jordan have pitched, right?
I think so.
Wow. 1 and 2 are tied. The Bombers and the Mambas only giving up 10.
Yeah, Mambas with Jackson and Ryan. Like if Jackson's there, yeah, for sure.
Cole has done well too.
Empire last year only gave up 8.
Wow, impressive.
Thank you.
Giving up 25 this year.
We don't have to talk about this year.
And the Mojo 24. So, not bad. But cool to see the home runs. All right, let's talk about this one's fun because this is probably the best pitching category. Let's end it with strikeouts. What was the highest number of strikeouts last year? And granted, this is a lot of different rules, and there's only 2 strikes last year.
It was us, the Empire, at 323.
Wow.
I mean, me and Jordan, like you didn't want to face like pitching wise from the other team to pitch against the Empire. They're like, yeah, let's go because Empire couldn't hit worth a crap.
Yeah,
But to face us was not fun. Me and
correct.
Jordan back to back, like so.
Yeah, nope, it wasn't. Uh, this year, right now, the Thunderbirds have 164.
Holy moly!
Yeah,
Wow.
wow, it's like cut in half. What was the lowest last year?
Pilots. So Dingers last year at 244.
And they're at 53 this year.
Whoa.
So very different.
Yeah, for sure.
Very, very different.
That was fun to do. I like that part.
Yeah, if you're not a big stat guy, you might not love this episode, but I had a lot of fun with it because I love stats. I'm a baseball and wiffle ball nerd, and I thought what a great time, coming up to the end of the season where we can kind of just run through here because the next couple episodes are going to be filled with. We have playoffs coming up. We have a tournament coming up, which I'll talk about here in a second. We have a world championship coming up. We have a lot of big time wiffle ball coming up here in the next 2 months. Really, yeah, there's 2 months from tomorrow until wiffle ball. Well, I guess we might go a little bit later. But so really, like 2 months and like a week or two until wiffle ball is done for the year. But in those two months, there's going to be a lot of content. I hope everyone is watching our playoff race and is excited about it as we are. Just let's talk about this tournament real quick.
Yeah.
September 3rd, MO-Wiff is partnering with Game Time Tournaments.
One of our awesome sponsors.
Yeah, they're a fantastic sponsor. And me, Jason, and you have really put together this tournament, and Jason's done a lot of good work getting us a field, and you created the registration form, and I created the picture. Like, I mean,
right.
The three of us sat down together, we sat down, but really put in a lot of work to make this happen. One, for our team to qualify for the world tournament, and two, it's just I think it's going to be a good thing to get more eyes on the league and more guys involved. Hopefully, if you have friends, get them out, get a team. All you need is 3 guys. I have buddies coming from Minnesota, and Trent Steffes is going to come play with me. Very excited. We're not sure on a full team yet. I'm waiting to talk to my guys to see, the Bombers, what we kind of want to do. We might separate a little bit into 2 different teams because I know Nick has a friend that wants to play. But I had a good conversation.
Is Mr. Bone coming out of retirement for this? Like,
that would be fun. I would love that.
Let's go.
I would love that. Okay, I got to bring that up to him on Thursday. I had a good conversation with a friend of mine that lives on the East Coast that is trying to get a team together. He wants to get reps before their playoffs start, and
that'd be big.
I said, yeah, hey man, come on down. I'll show you the town afterwards, and we'll have a good time.
I think what I'm most excited about is, hopefully seeing some of the guys that don't get their time on the mound, and
that's the biggest thing that I'm taking away from this.
For them to, showcase what they can do for maybe their free agency coming up, or to show their team captain, like, I can do this. So that's what I'm most excited about. So I'm hoping those guys that are like their second guy or third or fourth guy on the pitching list for their team to come out and showcase what they can do.
Yeah, you're almost using it as like another tryout, basically, but you're getting in-game experience. You're not getting just the tryout feel. It's more in-game situation, so you get to pitch against live hitters, guys trying to win games. But there's a lot less pressure because, like, right now, especially late in the season, you can't really, and especially our division, the whole entire season, we can't afford to really get guys in games because,
Right.
we have to win games, and it's hard to take a chance on a guy that you don't really know can throw or throw strikes. And this would be a great opportunity to show that. And it's a great opportunity to learn and figure stuff out.
Yeah.
Guys like Adam and Ryan Hicks, who are getting better on the mound. We've seen them improve.
I want to
This
see
is-
Ryan throw more.
This is a perfect opportunity for you if you're one of those guys to get more experience and get more playing time and get more time on the mound. If you need a team, let us know. Shoot me a text, whatever.
And if you don't want to play, come hang out with me.
Yeah, there you go. Josh will be hanging out. But yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, it's I'm looking forward to it, and I think that I think we'll probably have the 12 teams. I mean, even if we don't, it's not a big deal. But I know a lot of guys have said they're interested and want to, and once they kind of know more information about it, I think they'll start signing up. I don't know how many teams we have signed up right now. Only a couple, but I know there is a lot more interest, and they're just kind of waiting for other pieces to fall on who exactly are the teams are going to be. Because I know we'll probably I have like two kind of teams. I have enough guys for two teams right now.
Right.
So
yeah, and I mean, this is our first taste of putting on something like this. So hopefully, as the years go on, this can be something staple throughout Wiffle season, and have guys come from all over.
Yeah, that was going to be kind of my next thing. Is I think next year, and going forward years in advance, this could be a tournament we do every year. It could be fun, just to get guys interested, get new guys in the league, and like you said, get guys from out of town to come in, have a good time. Well, we have the venues, we have the players, we have everybody willing to pitch in and have fun, and I'm really excited. So if you haven't signed up yet, or if you don't have a team, get with guys, text the group chat in the league group chat, or your team or whatever. Just because your captain is not going doesn't mean you can't go. It's open to everybody.
Captain of your own team.
Yep, captain your own team. If you don't want to be, just let somebody know. And it's also a good time to mix teams up. If there's guys that you want to play with, like you join the league with your friends, good time to do it.
Right.
And because it's just for fun. And it's cheap. It's only $25.
25.
So if you haven't signed up as a team, $25 is a team. That's a steal, especially for this first year.
3 game guarantee. Is that what we decided on? Or 4?
I
3.
think so.
3.
I think it's 3.
It's 3 pools, or a pool of 3. So you play each team once, and then you get bracket play after that.
Yeah, single elimination after that. It'll be a good time, and then we can all hang out and just learn more about Wiffle Ball.
Yeah,
it's a great time to learn. So, thanks guys for sticking around with us. Josh, any last words before we sign off?
No, I mean, keep tuning in. You'll be hearing my voice a lot since I can't play.
There you go.
Trying to get back into it. It's just kind of been a struggle for me with the surgery and getting back in with everything. So,
move over, Dan McLaughlin. Josh Rogers is coming in.
Coming for your job, Dan. So,
he's the best. He's the best.
So yeah, I'm excited for the playoff race, man. I'm excited to see how it all folds out. And, yeah. Let's get at it.
And thanks for sticking in here with me, Josh, in place of Adam this week. Adam hopefully will be back next week, but we might have some guests on in the future, and we will see what we can do. We will be back in 2 weeks for episode 15, and that's all I got. We will see you guys next time.
See ya.